level up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this stuff so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this stuff so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Been no mistakes, I won't admit my fault. There's owners, there's news, I've done it there before. I've turned it into something, my comeback on 100. Let's talk it, no action, you just go see coming. I just keep elevating, no losses, just upgrading. My lessons, make blessings, I turn that into money. They gotta never settle, this beat is so much better. I'm chilling, I'm winning, like on another level. Oh, you can talk all you want. See me as a freedom, nothing I'm afraid of, and I can hold it all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. All this song is so yummy, all this stuff so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all your time. Level up, 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 level up. All this song is so yummy, all this stuff so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all your time. Wait, wait, talk like wait. Teamwork, no hate. I'm riding, I'm shining, they got it, never sell. This beat is so sad. I'm chilling, I'm winning, like on another level. Oh, you can talk all you want. See me as a freedom, nothing I'm afraid of, and I can tell it all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Level up, 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 level up. All this song so yummy, all this stuff so yummy. But you want this yummy, yummy all your time. All this song so level, for another level, elevate your level, raise your level, na na na. Hey, level up, 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 level up. All this song so yummy. All this stuff so yummy. Do you want this yummy? Yummy all in your time. Level up, 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 level up. All this song so yummy. All this stuff so yummy. Do you want this yummy? Yummy all in your time.
All right, all right, all right. Y'all know I am so hyped. I'm too hyped today. I told you I was gonna bring these spectacles out. I told you. Y'all, I am too hyped today. Why? Why am I so hyped about such a Mom, you're so excited. And I said, you know what? Because honestly, hey, peace. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Everybody coming in. Please throw your glowers up, y'all. Please throw y'all glowers up because y'all, it's only right that I salute my queen. Y'all know this. The reason why I'm so excited is because when you meet someone that literally is fulfilling a dream that you had of yours, y'all imagine, you always wanted to meet a basketball player, right? You always wanted to be a basketball player. And then you end up, meeting and working with someone who did just that. When you meet someone who's literally walking in your dream, it is always it's always like a huge deal. My kids were even like, Mom, you're so excited about, they were like, you talk to her all the time. And I'm like, but it's a difference when you really know that you all know I've always want to be a lawyer. Wanted to be a lawyer. Anyone that has known me knows my background, knows that that's the case. Hey, Jose, you've been missing. Welcome. Naima, I see you, sis. Thank you so much. Hey, Borge. Ooh, thank you so much, Borge. Borge is visiting, one of our international friends. Welcome. But yeah, the reason why is because, I said, I know, trust me, from me wanting to be a lawyer growing up to marrying a lawyer to just always being so fascinated with law and with the legal field and with all that goes into it, and being able to see it firsthand when, being married, when I was married to, my ex-husband, and, him becoming, a lawyer, I knew what that entailed. And so to engage with someone who still has that same brightness, that same love for the field, who is just so humble, and that's what I love about you, Ciara. She's so humble but brilliant, very smart, and we've had just some great conversations. And it's not just about, okay, this is what I am doing or what I can do, but it's more so about, the energy and the spirit that I'm doing it with. And I love that, to see someone that literally has, my dream job, my dream profession, but they're so humble about it. And as we always talk about, within this room, within this channel, within our Glow Nation network, that representation does matter. Because absolutely, being a lawyer, being a person in a professional industry is one of the hugest aspirations for our youth. It still is. Being a doctor and being a lawyer is still the number one and number two professions of aspirations for us. And when I say us, y'all know who I always talk about. But who I'm talking to when I say us, I'm talking to people of African descent, foundationally Black, melanated, African Americans, however way you want to chop it up. I'm talking to us. That is still a big aspiration for us. And so, like I said, I'm really excited about introducing the Glow Nation to Ciara. Y'all, I always say her name like that too. I hope you never get tired of that, Ciara, because you always Ciara.
No, I haven't yet.
I love it. I love it. Your daughter's gonna be like, Mom, why she always call your name like that? Be like, Auntie Courtney is that's just how she shows her love. Absolutely. Welcome, Underrated Darkness. Welcome. So we're gonna unpack a couple of things here today. Again, I thank everyone for being a part in the room. Please, absolutely put these glowers up. Y'all better put some respect on Sis Ciara's name in here. Y'all put these glowers up. Not only is she leveled up, she's glowed up. Y'all, I know y'all were excited. Y'all like, dang, Courtney got Ciara on the Glow Show today. That's right. I got Ciara on the Glow Show today. So, Ciara, let's start in the beginning, right? When did you first know, okay, I'm going to become a lawyer? Because, I honestly, that's huge. My ex-husband used to say the same thing. He would be like, Courtney, it's really not that big of a deal. But I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're doing it, babe. You're doing it. But when did you first know that you wanted to become a lawyer? When did that become a real for you?
First, let me start by saying thank you for having me. And I want to apologize. I have a cough drop in my mouth, so I'm not being disrespectful, but I'm trying not to cough all, during the interview. So when did I first know that I wanted to become a lawyer? I will say, so from the time I was little, my mom always told me that I talked too much and that I argued too much. She always said that. And I don't know how many Christians are out there, but I'm a Christian. I grew up in the church. And I remember we were at a shut-in one night, and the wife of one of our pastors gave a prophecy, and she was like, I see a lot of books around you. I see you in a library. She's like, you're going to become a lawyer. And this is when I was probably in like elementary school at this point. So that's always kind of been in the back of my head. And I went to, go through high school, get to college. I majored in English when I was in college. And when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with this? I was like, I don't want to be, a teacher. So what am I gonna do with this? My mom was like, well, you know you're supposed to be a lawyer. And I was like, okay, whatever. But then during that year, I was kind of like, I gotta do something. So, let me study for the LSAT. And that's kind of how it happened. Like, I tell myself that I kind of stumbled into it because I didn't have anything else to do. But with the background of the prophecy and everything, I feel like it was always kind of gonna happen. I just kind of had to come around to the idea, if that makes sense. And I see Naima made a comment about my last name, and that is very true. Sorry to cut you off. I was just saying I see Naima made a comment about my last name being Harris, and that was also Ciara's maiden name. Her name was Ciara Harris before she married Russell Wilson. So that's a little, fun fact.
Ciara, I just realized that. Because y'all, before I ever met Ciara, I was a big Ciara fan. Like a big Ciara fan. I just always resonated with her spiritually, if that makes sense. I loved how her parents were both very much in her life. As she transitioned through her career, that I saw that, and I'm not as young as Ciara, but I'm closer to Ciara's age than Russell, because you all know Ciara is older than Russell Wilson. So y'all, okay. Michael B. Jordan, hello, a little older lady.
He's the sexiest man alive.
Michael B. Jordan?
He is. He's on the cover of People as the sexiest man alive for
this year. I did not know that. Let me tell you, Ciara, a side note for another conversation, because, I'm going to be respectful because you're a married woman. I'm not. But I was telling people when he was in Fab 4. And I was like, people were clowning him. They were talking about he looked like Scooby-Doo. I was like, yeah, Scooby-Doo over here. I like me some Michael B. And then when he got to be Killmonger, people were, they were feeling it a little more, And, he was in Creed. And then when he was in Creed, people saw the body work. And so they were feeling it. But I just saw from the very beginning, and he also gets a lot of flack because he has not been attached to a sister. And so because people that know me, they know that I'm very much into us unifying and uniting and Black love and the beauty of melanated unions. And so people always say to me, he wouldn't like you. And I said, he may not like you, but he might like me. He would like he don't Killmonger gonna love me. I'm just waiting for the moment. Mike, I'm coming, Mike. Yes. Naima said, yes, he is the sexiest man. And Naima said she always also wanted to be a lawyer. Absolutely. Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so good. So I'm gonna let you get back to the conversation because yes, Ciara Harris. That's so true. And that's why I said too. I think me and you, we were meant to be because I just said we resonated so much off the top, but also that energy, that same type of energy that I love about Ciara the singer. I love that about you. I love that about you too. I feel like I'm already. We're besties. We are besties. We're sisters. And it's that same type of energy because like I always say, I don't do idolatry. If these are not people that I really feel like I could have a conversation with, that I can have fun with, that I can, share a meal with, I really don't want to do nothing with you. And that same type of energy that I've always felt in regards to, because I feel like Ciara has allowed herself to be very vulnerable with her music. And I can appreciate that. And that in her humility in it is something that has always been very fascinating. And that's what I've always said about you. I'm like, Ciara, you're like a lawyer. Like you are it, girl. You are like the representation of what so many people want to do, want to see, what they want to be. And you're so humble. And you're like, and so soft-spoken. And I just find that really, really beautiful. So I'm going to let you get back to it. Yes, we are Ciara lovers over here. That's why I said I don't dismiss level up, even though I say don't level up, don't just level up, glow up. But don't get it twisted. I'm definitely a fan of Ciara Harris Wilson. Absolutely. Let me go back on mute. Oh, yeah. So if you want to continue to talk about, the journey a bit. And the journey a bit.
So
and also with Kamala. So Harris is a famous last name all the way around, sis.
Yes.
And T.I. too, right?
Okay, so just you're right, Tip Harris. Look at that. My cousins. Look at all my cousins, child. My cousins. So a little bit about the journey. So I went to law school in 2010, graduated in 2013. So I've been barred for about 7 years now. And let me start by saying this. I appreciate all the amazing and kind words. But what I do is nothing like you see on TV, right? I feel like TV probably memorizes being a lawyer, but there are so many types of lawyers, right? And there's so many, levels, I guess, of lawyers. So level up. So I've done everything from foreclosure defense. I've worked for the government. Right now I'm in private practice. I work for a firm in Stewart, Florida. And what I do primarily is work with county government. So not the most glamorous, sexy job. But that's what I do. But ultimately, and I'm going to put this out there, I want to focus on sports law. So that's where sports and entertainment law. So that's where I am focusing my energies and my networking efforts and all of that, because that is my dream job, so to speak, because I love sports, specifically basketball. I love entertainment. I love music. I've always naturally been drawn to more transaction work as opposed to litigation. So that is where, I am hopefully going to take my career next.
So I love sports too. Once again, just another place where we're twins in it. Your favorite? Oh, we'll say that towards the end because y'all know I do a top 5 at 5. But since we're going to do a top 7 at 7. So with sports law, a little bit about that transition, right? How did this? Where do you see? How do you see yourself in your perspective and what your strategies are with your legal work? How would this be? How would that be inputted in the sports realm? Because my goal, after of course being a lawyer, was being a writer. Always was being a writer, and I wanted to be the first Black female editor-in-chief of Sports Illustrated. For a long time, that was my goal, y'all. And after I got married, I kind of, let go of that a bit. And because also, if you wanted to have an internship with Sports Illustrated, you had to play the sport. And at the time that I was in college, they weren't considering. Yeah, it was very, I don't want to say, I dare say it was sexist. Limiting. It was very limiting. And it also was, it was disappointing. Like, I was really just kind of, my dreams were shattered a bit because they didn't consider dancing, as I always was a dancer, y'all. So I was leveling up. I wasn't on Ciara's level, but I was always a dancer. And they weren't considering dancers as sports, as they were considering cheerleaders to be athletes, but they weren't considering dancers to be they didn't consider that as part of the athletics. And so so I shifted a bit and I said, okay, well, how can I still create an opportunity to get involved in that arena, so to speak, no pun intended. And so what I noticed that when I started booking, so I used to be a publicist and I booked shows. of course, athletes were celebrities. So I got into booking athletes as well. So with that being said, I'm just wondering where are some things where you can say, hey, this is what I'm learning. This is how I'm going to apply this to my own type of, management firm. Would management be a part of it?
Yes. So essentially, I would probably focus on the contracts, right? Athletes have to get signed to teams. Teams have, agreements with sponsors and all of these things. But I actually don't know if I want to be a lawyer in the sports arena. I think I maybe want to work in a front office. And there are not a lot of women in professional sports. Well, let me not say that. There are not a lot of women in the male, in like the NBA and like the male leagues. Obviously, there are amazing um, women in the front offices of the WNBA and the various women's leagues. And the Marlins actually just hired the first woman. I believe she's the new GM for their front office, and so she just like broke the glass ceiling in baseball for women. So that's very exciting. So for me, I want to work in a front players, our personnel, what players, we think we want to draft. When we have players on our team, what players, do we think we want to keep? Do we want to trade? How much we want to pay them? All of these things I'm extremely interested in. The salary cap and the collective bargaining agreement and all of these things that make me sound like a basketball nerd. That stuff really interests me. So that's hopefully where I will get. And I also recently, so I'm a lawyer obviously by day, but I also started volunteering as a volunteer director for an AAU team. And anybody that played basketball, as a young person, knows what AAU basketball is all about. So I volunteered with a team called Applying Pressure Elite. They are based in Chicago. Um, and so right now it's mostly handling like a lot of their social media. Um, I brought in a Chicago bar attorney to like help me review, some agreements that we need to review for them. So that's just kind of a way to kind of, I guess, get myself acclimated and ingratiated on obviously a smaller scale with basketball and with sports. And then, hopefully that can serve as a catalyst to get me where I want to be ultimately.
What's so beautiful about that, also, Ciara, is that even with being a lawyer, which, like I said, is the pinnacle for most people. For most people, like it don't get no better than that. And even with that, where you're at, still looking. You're still looking, and you're saying, "Hey, this is where I can continue to climb and continue to hone my craft and continue to continue to build new levels, continue to level up and glow up." I love that.
Continue to level
Um,
up. Yes.
One of the things that I found very poignant about what you said thus far is that what you do as a lawyer is not what people usually think of when they think about lawyers. Elaborate on that a little bit. What do you think most people think you're doing as a lawyer, and what does your day mostly consist of as a lawyer? I know the answer,
Right.
but this is fun for me to kind of share this with other people.
Right. So I feel like when people think of lawyers, they automatically think of a courtroom. I never see the inside of a courtroom ever. Um, and that's because most of my job involves writing, a lot of writing and research. And I think, and I'm not going to start spitting out numbers because I don't know the numbers, but I feel like, and I've been told that even with litigators, a huge chunk of their cases never even make it to court because they settle, right? Um, and so people, probably think that lawyers are always in the court, and they think judges are lawyers yelling out objection all the time, and people are walking in the courtroom in the 11th hour with a smoking gun piece of evidence that's gonna crack the whole case, and like all of this really dramatized stuff, and that is literally not what a lot of us do. I have an amazing group of friends that I went to law school with, and we're really still really good friends to this day. And one of them works for the federal government. She works for the VA, and she does a ton of writing. One works for DCF, so she's in a courtroom, but she does a lot. I believe it's like dependency work. One works for a hospital. She never sees inside of a courtroom. So these are all, very different types of law doing different things, and not very glamorous, and probably not something people think of when they think, oh, I want to be a lawyer, because it's nothing like, you see on TV.
I have to. So who are some of your, if you will, and I don't know if I should save this for 7. I only have a few more minutes. Maybe I should. Okay, I am. I'm gonna save that question. Let's see what we have in the chat. We have Naima is Naima, where are you? Are you in Virginia or South Carolina? I saw you said you always wanted to be a lawyer. What has stopped you from pursuing that, Naima? I know you're a mother of a daughter as well. So is Ciara. So am I. But Naima, I know you said your daughter is same age as my daughter, 13. Wanting to know that, what stopped you from becoming one? And the reason why I'm sticking on that question, Ciara, because I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but my mom wanted to be a lawyer, and she actually,
Really?
yeah, she did. She wanted to be a lawyer, and she had gotten accepted to a law school, but she had got accepted to a law school that was out of Florida. And she at the time had she had 2 children, and her grandmother, who she was residing with at the time, she told her that she would have, that would be very hard to take the babies with her through law school. And so she said, you wouldn't have any support. I'm here. You can get into law school here in Florida. It was Daytona Beach. She was like, I can help you, but I can't move with you to, I believe it was somewhere I believe it was in the Carolinas. That's why with what Naima said, it really hit home. And so my mother didn't. She went ahead and went to school at Bethune-Cookman, where she in turn met my father. And then, three kids later, I was born. So, we never know what those decisions, what they in turn,
right.
how they will pan out. So, my daughter was the one who actually, about a year ago, she got me out of the habit of saying, I used to want to be a lawyer. And she would say, well, what's stopping you?
Mm-hmm.
And I would look at her like, are you kidding me? Like, how am I supposed to be doing this and doing that? But she's right. And just, with us and our developing relationship and friendship, it has encouraged me all over again. And so I really thank you for that. But I want to know from you, Naima, what has stopped you from pursuing that? Why is that on the back burner? Hey, brother Bakari, peace to you. Wow, Naima, you have 5 children. I'm the youngest of 5. And you're in Virginia. Oh my gosh. My daughter was born in Virginia. Naima, we've got to talk. Let's email. Because, girl, this is too much. I got to tell you something. This is too much. This is beautiful. I'm the youngest of 5. Wow. That is beautiful. Would love to know your breakdown. Wow. Naima, this is really, really poignant. Naima says, I don't know if you can read that. Can you see that on the screen, sis, Ciara?
I can.
That is,
Yeah, I
you know
can.
what? That honesty is so real
She said she thought
because,
she wasn't good enough.
come on. What do you have to say to that, Ciara? What do you have to
Can
say
I?
to that? Yes,
Yes,
please.
I do have something to say to that. So I guess I kind of glazed over a lot of my journey. So I grew up in the inner city, right, in Miami. I went to Miami Jackson Senior High School. Um, so, um, where I come from, there weren't a lot of lawyers around, right? When I went to college, I was an average student. I thought I was, I was afraid. I was in, and when I got there, oh my goodness, I didn't know how I was gonna maintain. Um, and I will say, even to this day, I know a lot has been said recently about imposter syndrome. Even to this day, I still struggle with that. I've been doing this for a few years now, and sometimes I still kind of have to check myself and be like, you're here because you belong here, and I still kind of and I will say this. One thing that I am realizing now, that the people that are that seem the most confident, or that speak the most, don't necessarily always know the most, right? So I wasn't really intimidated by people that always seemed like they knew what they were talking about, and were like always the first to volunteer, and they just spoke with more confidence. But you know they don't always know what they're talking about. So to Naima and to everybody out there, it's like we gotta resist that thinking of I'm not good enough. We gotta resist the thinking of the imposter syndrome thing, right? So it took me a long time to get to be able to say out loud, and I've only told my husband this, that I wanted to work in a front office for a professional sports team, because I was so afraid to say it out loud, because I was like, if I don't ever get there, then it's out there, right? But so we got to get to the point of just pursuing things, right, and trying, and because we are so much more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. So that's all I'll say to Miss Naima.
Naima, let me share something. I was gonna wait till you email, but my guys, you got me about to cry, Ciara, because um so when I was married to my ex-husband, and I'm gonna tell people all the time, they say, oh my gosh, you're so honest, you're so accountable, with the fact that no, I wasn't a faithful wife. I was not a faithful wife to my ex-husband. And a lot of people, they often think, thank you. They often think that, because I am so forthcoming, that my ex-husband was like drawing my bath. He was, just adorning me with all of these lustrous gifts. You see, I ain't gonna play with you. The stories that I've heard from people, they're like, "Oh, Courtney just had a really good man." I'm not saying that he wasn't. My ex-husband was a very much a stand-up guy, very stand-up guy,
Right.
and still very proud of him. Brilliant, brilliant dude. But at the end of the day, he was still a man. We were still a very young couple, young relationship.
And
We were married when I
was
was
stuck.
still in college. And still, we had a lot of growing and learning. So I'm not going to dismiss that. But the reason why I had to speak to that, Naima, and I'm just going to be real right now, and this is a real God moment. Me and you, Ciara, we talk about this often, but this is a real God moment, because my ex-husband, I used to tell him when he was going through law school, because we married his first year in law school, and he was at UPenn. And we married, like I said, when I was still in college, but he was in his first year, and we had known each other prior to. I remember within 2 weeks of us dating, he said to me, "Hey, I want to be a where are you going?" He was like, "Hey, I want to be he said I'm going to be a lawyer so I can take care of you." And I said, "Well, that's cute." That's what I thought. I didn't take it seriously. And so when he actually took the LSAT and he got a high score, he was offered scholarships from many different places, and he decided on UPenn. I was very proud, because he was telling me about the background with UPenn, about it being an Ivy League, because I didn't even realize that it was an Ivy League growing up. Yeah, it's a very good school. I didn't realize beforehand. The only thing I knew about Philly was Temple. And so I was like, because I had gotten accepted into Temple. And my mom had told me, y'all, she was like, Philadelphia is cold, Courtney. And I know you like to sleep too much. You ain't gonna make no classes if you go up to Philly. And so Philadelphia, and we growing up, we knew about Bill Cosby and John Chaney. So Philadelphia would just seem like the place to be. But y'all, I was not. I got planted in Philadelphia, and so it's funny how the way God works, that I still got planted in Philadelphia, even though I didn't go to school in Philadelphia. I ended up going to Florida A&M and Florida State. And then when my ex-husband went to UPenn for law school, that's how I ended up in Philadelphia. And but I remember when I went about after his first year, I was no longer teaching. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should go back to law school. Maybe I can go back to law school. And he told me no. He said, that's not a good idea. He said, you know how much loans I'm going to have after I'm done? And a household cannot stand more than one lawyer. That's what he told me, y'all. Mark my words. This is what he told me. So now, imagine my pleasant surprise that his new wife,
he's with a lawyer,
is a lawyer. Ciara, don't play with me. Don't play with me. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So Naima, don't talk yourself out of it, because trust me, you'll have more than enough people to talk you out of it. But don't talk yourself out of it. Be your biggest support. So, because the homeboy told me, we can't have two lawyers up in here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there are definitely so many, and I say this to people like my younger cousins and my sisters. Like there are so many, we get so many negative images and words from external sources, so we can't feed it to ourselves. So yeah, definitely Naima. So that's to piggyback off of what Courtney said. The world's already trying to tell you what you can't do, so you can't tell yourself that. I mean, that's easier said.
What is for you is for you.
It's practice. Amen.
Absolutely. So it is time, y'all, for our top 7 at 7. If I don't see any questions in here, I'm gonna go just with my own. Y'all know I'm very capable. So I'm gonna start off with my very first one, because now I'm excited with hearing your sports interest. Number 7. Ooh, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? If you're gonna work for one of their organizations, LeBron.
Don't even answer the question. LeBron.
Why?
And I'm a huge Miami Heat fan, right? So everyone knows LeBron came to the Heat and then he left the Heat, and we were salty about it a little bit. So I preface my answer with that. I love LeBron James. I think obviously he is an amazing basketball player, but he seems to be an amazing man, right? Obviously, we only see what he presents to the world when he's in front of the camera. We don't know what he's like when the camera is turned off, but LeBron James, all the amazing things that he does for children. You know, he started the I Promise School. He started More Than a Vote. So he's just doing so many amazing things in the communities. And it's particularly for us, like you said, for us, that I think that in my eyes, that just puts him head and shoulders above so many other, and not to knock MJ, you know, Michael Jordan was amazing, but I'm pretty sure when I watched his The Last Dance doc, he's always historically shied away from politics. He shied away from taking a stand on things. You know, I assume because he thought it would affect, you know, his bottom line. And LeBron has never done that. LeBron has always been, you know, very outspoken and very vocal about causes and things that are important to him and things that he knows affects him as a Black man, and affects, you know, the rest of us. And he has taken on the responsibility of being a role model and being a spokesperson for us when, you know, the rest of us can't be heard. So yeah, I just love that about him.
Wow. You know, and let me qualify my statement, y'all. I can't qualify, but I just love Michael Jordan. So that's just gonna be it for me, y'all. I don't do idolatry, but I tell y'all, it's just what it is, y'all. It's just what it is. I promise y'all. I've gotten into many discussions, especially in my adult life, about this undying love for MJ. And thankfully I have never met him, because people always tell me that he is one of those types that if you meet him, everything else will change. But
it's gonna turn you off, right?
Yeah, but you know, I feel like it's the same way how people always, you know, and both coming from Chicago, and I thought, you know, very, you know, that stuck out too when you said Chicago. But I think of him in the same regards of Barack Obama. The way people always say, oh, well, you know, he didn't do this and that, he could have done this and that. I said, the Barack Obama gave us the audacity of hope. Like literally, that's what he gave us. And so when we talk about Michael Jordan and affecting his bottom line, Michael Jordan was the bottom line. Like Michael Jordan created that line. So that's where I'm just like, you know, it's like Frederick Douglass marrying a white woman. You know, I gotta just give him. I just gotta give him a pass with it. You know, my own father. You know, after my mother passed, you know, my father married a white woman, and you know, I struggled with that for a couple of years. I really did, but I had to come to the conclusion that, you know, that didn't change my childhood. You know, my daddy was still, you know, Richard B is still Richard B. My daddy came through. My daddy is, you know, my daddy is my daddy. And so, you know, I think about a lot of that with Michael Jordan, that a lot of his tenacity, his drive, his ambition, his accomplishments, his achievements, what they did for Black kids dreaming was to me much more important than the franchise, the endorsements. It was Black kids dreaming. Like you could be anything, and it really, and also too, what I think was so emphatic about or significant about Michael Jordan's career and the reality of him is that Michael Jordan was raised in a very middle class, you know, household, you know, mother, father, you know, siblings. And because I think, unfortunately, and, you know, follow me for a second here, but, you know, a lot of times people just think that just because you had, you know, you grew up with both parents, that you had no struggles, you had no adversities, you know, and I think that that's always a big misconception. And I know what that feels like, because I also have faced that, you know, just because of the fact that my grandmother was the mayor of a city, didn't mean that me and my siblings got along, you know, didn't mean that it did not make us immune to a lot of dysfunction. And so I really appreciated always that you know, Michael Jordan, you know, he had these achievements and he had these advancements, and he always talked about the role of his father. And when his father was murdered, you know, after, you know, winning, you know, that his third championship, I just said this man could have gone away forever and nobody would have faulted him for it. With the way that his father was murdered, and with the rumors that came after that his father was murdered because of a gambling debt. Like, there were just horrible, horrible rumors that came after, not giving any respect to the fact and the matter of, and the fact that he did go away for a year, came back and won 3 more. I was like, man, if I didn't love him then, I love him now. But definitely, I am unabashedly unashamed. But I have heard, trust me, from very, very respectful sources that he is not so much of a nice guy. And I do appreciate that. But I think that's the reason why God has made it so that we ain't never met, because God knows the desires of your heart. You don't want to break my
paths.
Never. We've never, and there have been situations, because I remember even when I was in Charlotte, he owned, part of the Charlotte, and on the night he was supposed to be there, it was their last game, and my ex-husband had bought us tickets, and like that was the closest chance I was going to have. And I remember that night he was supposed to be there, and they were playing the Nets. And I went to high school with Vince Carter, and so it was like Vince Carter and Michael Jordan in the same building. Like, I just thought this is unheard of. And I was I think I was pregnant with my son, so I was like, this is just going to be an amazing night, And Michael Jordan ended up not being there, and I was like, wow. And it was the last game that Vince played with the Nets. Michael Jordan was supposed to be there, and I was like, wow. And so even in that instance, he wasn't there that night, and so that's amazing. Thank you, Tanjon. Tanjon, once again, doing my...
I see you going hard.
Tanjon don't play. Y'all, we got a special announcement about Tanjon coming up at the end of the show. Hello, peeps. Hello, peeps, indeed. Naima says, would you still pick LeBron James if you had a choice between him and Steph Curry? That would take my question number 6.
Yes, without a doubt. And I love Steph. I do not have anything against Steph, but to me, how you said what all those kids felt about Jordan? I feel like LeBron, too, it was Kobe for an extent, God rest his soul. But I feel like LeBron is our Michael Jordan, but he's just taking the mantle so much further with like his social justice work and what he's doing in the community. Just so it's like it's on and off the basketball court.
What Tanjon said, Barack Obama is a joke. Tanjon gonna make her shots. You hear me? You will not deny Tanjon. Tanjon was gonna make her pushes.
I see.
I want to ask you, Ciara, did you not pick Steph Curry because you can? Is there some light skin anti-privilege there? You just let me know, because you can see through him.
No,
I know. I don't know.
I love
I want
Steph.
to make sure.
I love Steph.
I love him too.
I love Steph, but LeBron is just,
even the social
at his age,
definitely different.
Right, and even at LeBron's age and he's been in the league 17, 18 years, the league still runs through him. I still think that he is the top 2 or 3, best player in the league. He still is able, if he could win an MVP, this coming season, if he really wanted to. So just his longevity, if we're sticking to basketball, just, his longevity and, how long he's been able to maintain this level of excellence is just amazing.
I agree. I think his athleticism is absolutely supreme. And what I loved about what I do love, the same way that I love about the fact that Michael Jordan did have the middle class background, because I could relate to that more, with having, because I think sometimes like I said, you almost get shamed for having a mother and father in the home. Like people think that you got it easy because you did have a mother and father in the home, and I'm like, that's not the case because my mom still beat ass, and my having my dad there is something that mattered when I got into the years of dating and having a man to emulate what I wanted a husband after. But before that being said, it was just like daddy was just like daddy just there. Like I remember growing up just thinking like, what does daddy do? Daddy just be there. Daddy be there to he gets the biggest plate. Daddy just get the most food. I'm like, what does daddy even do? I didn't appreciate what that meant until I got into my later teens and to actually feel what that protection meant. Because I remember one time we were at the Classic, y'all know when Bethune-Cookman plays Florida A&M, and we were coming out of the stairwell, and this guy reached, like he perfectly timed his reach so that he could touch my breast as we were walking down the corridor. And my daddy said, "Nigga, I'll kill you." And I was like, "Daddy, no!" Like that was my first time where I was just like, and Daddy would have done it. My daddy, put them hands on him and he jacked him up. My daddy is not a tall man, and this dude was tall, and the dude was like, "No, all right, sir. I'm sorry." And I was like, "Dang!" And I knew this dude. This dude was like a, kind of like a moderate. He was kind of like a tough guy, and from our community. And my daddy said, "Nigga, I'll kill you." And I was like, that's the first time I had ever heard my dad even talk like that to somebody. And I saw that in his eyes that he meant it. And I was like, he meant that for me. And I remember just thinking in that moment, I didn't want to be the cause of my daddy killing this man, because this man will be dead. My daddy will be in jail. And I just felt so horrible. I felt so horrible. I was like, "Daddy, please, no, don't." And I was like, it was a scene. But up until that moment, I just really was just like, what do dads do it? They control the TV, they get the biggest meal, what's going on here with these fathers? And so what I really appreciated about LeBron James was the fact that, dude has never met his mother. I mean, never met his father, but never disrespected his mother because of it. Like, that's really huge. Never disrespected his mother, but never knew his father. And just has absolutely created an incredible life for an incredible legacy, for his children, for his wife, and for his mother. Still involves his mother in a lot of opportunities as far as management and career. So okay, so we're on number 5. Ooh, this is a good one. Your favorite Ciara song?
Oh, my favorite Ciara song. I love the Promise video.
Yeah.
Favorite song? Probably Oh.
That was mine because of Omega. That was mine because of Omega. Oh, and Ride.
Probably
Ride.
Yeah. Oh my God, Ride. And yes, and see, and I feel like Ciara made some really amazing videos. Was an amazing video.
It has.
Ride, Like a Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, Like a Boy was very similar to Beyonce's If I Was a Boy. And that's what people always were trying to say, oh, Ciara was biting, Beyonce on a lot of stuff. But, like I said, I always kind of just sided with Ciara just because of the fact that I felt like Ciara was a little bit more authentic and sincere. And there was a lot more vulnerability in her music. But I'm putting that question in the chat too. What is your favorite Ciara?
I'm going to stop you there. You are talking to a card-carrying member of the Beehive. I absolutely
I don't care.
100% love
I'm
Beyonce.
with it.
Um,
We can go. We can go. I'm still gonna come with it.
I've seen her
Hard
live.
carrying or not.
She's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean,
I just
we're not gonna bash. I'm not gonna bash another Black woman. I'm not gonna bash Ciara, but Beyonce
no.
is an icon. B is an icon, and that's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you
What
can
other?
say.
You know, I'm gonna
Because
say more. I'm gonna say more. I'm gonna say more. What
how
other
you feel about LeBron?
entertainer? No. Listen.
How you feel about
What other
B and LeBron?
entertainer right now commands the same respect that Beyonce commands from her peers? People respect Beyonce like they respect Michael Jackson.
I don't respect someone who can't find pants to put on
Her
and their
peers.
mama.
Her peers.
I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm
You're
a peer.
not her peer.
God said we all human, sis. We gonna go to the book on this one. We all human. You ain't gonna put that above me. I don't care who Beyonce is.
What did you say? You don't respect her because what?
I said I don't respect a woman that can't find pants to put on when they on stage. Find some Beyonce. Find some pants and wear them often.
Oh no. First of all, those are costumes. They're costumes. They're performance
and what is she?
And
what's her job?
Just because she's a mother, she is still
a woman. What's her job? If they are costumes, what's her job?
She's a performer.
She's a performer. And what makes her different from she's a performer and someone on the strip pole a performer?
Hey,
so until you go down to King of Diamonds, go down to King of Diamonds.
And I don't think because you become a mother that strips you of your womanhood. I don't think that.
That's not womanhood. That's not womanhood. Now we're gonna have to go toe to toe on that. That's not womanhood.
For her,
it's a nah. It's a nah. It's a nah.
No, see, I don't.
But
agree. I don't agree. I feel like we got to stop trying to put each other in these boxes. We got to stop trying to put each other in these boxes.
Not just a box. That's not just a box. I think that with the height and with the power of Beyonce's influence, and I get the same type of I do the same type of awareness assessment of Rihanna. I feel the same way, that when to whom much is given, much is required. And when you're at such a level where you don't have to, why do you? And I just don't think, to me, honestly,
because you want
and
to.
I think I'm what? 2 years?
Because you want to.
Yeah. I think that we have to. I think our lives should be about the examples that we're setting for our futures. And I don't condone something that I wouldn't want my daughter doing. And so I'm not going to be sitting around acting like that's cute and cool, the twerking, the non-pants wearing, the booty hopping, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And so I don't ascribe to it. Now, has she made some great music? Absolutely. But I'm not going to put her on any type of pedestal. Not over here. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't. We ain't
think it's about putting her on a pedestal. I think it's that she, as a woman, should be able to, express her womanhood and be, who she wants to be and be sexual, even though she's a mother. Like I don't think that stops.
Oh, I'm all about being sexual. I mean, that's your right. I'm single and celibate and have been for 6 years. But I recently actually stopped talking to a few of my sisters. All of my sisters, really, because they felt like I shouldn't be so expressive about what I miss about that my activity. But I'm a grown woman, and I'm like, I may have to put you just on block. But again, to whom much is given, much is required. I do think that she is at a different level of exposure. And I think that your life, as it says in scripture, even your life has got to be not about you, but about for someone else. And I think that is not that's not how we empower our females. That's not how we empower our mothers. That's not how we empower our daughters by saying, "Hey, let's get these crotch shots going. Let's get these strings up. I honestly just don't think that's the way. That's not the way we're ushering. That's not the way we are ushering in a positive and a progressive movement of our society, which of course women create. So I think in that regard, it actually reduces a lot of what people think about us as a culture, that this is what we tout as, this is our queen. Not, it ain't mine. It ain't mine. Like I said, I'll stick to my grandma. First black,
I
first
think
female
she
heir,
should get to be whoever she wants, and live
She
the
can, but
way that she wants. And I
that'll
think
get respect from me. I'm just saying that won't get no respect from me.
I mean,
she can do whatever she wants, but I don't think nothing of it. Like I said, I will say she has made some good music, some great music. I love Countdown. I love I Was Here. I love Best I Never Had. There's some music that I definitely love from Beyonce, but I think her painted out as some type of image of influence for my child. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. It's never gonna be something I support. I would never pay this. I would never pay to support that Beyonce and that machine. So that just ain't gonna be me. That just ain't gonna be me.
Well,
but number four, Android or iPhone? Where you at?
oh, iPhone.
iPhone. Why?
I haven't had an Android in years. You know what? It's probably just because I bought into the hype of the iPhone. I'm sure Androids are great phones. But once I got an iPhone, I think the first one I had was the 5 maybe, and I just never looked back. And it doesn't matter how expensive they get, I'm probably gonna upgrade to the 12.
You're gonna get the 12? You have to let me know.
To that soon. And
I got my first iPhone
it's
ever.
It's probably just the hype.
No, you know what I said about iPhones? I will say this. I was a big sidekick lover. Let me tell y'all, I hung on to sidekick.
I had a sidekick.
I love sidekick. I hung on to them for almost a decade. When people they started getting other things like the BlackBerry, and they started getting like the Blackjack, and it was the Razor. But I was like, the sidekick just made, that whole swivel out thing. I just thought that was huge. Also made by Generation Xers. Y'all got to know it. But what I have found that iPhone is really superior on, because I'm having my first iPhone ever. Like I said, I was an Android to the hill. Swiping, I felt like it took too long for even iPhones to get that concept together with swiping. I'm like, because this thing is revolutionary. But their camera quality is absolutely incredible. I'm like, these are cameras. These aren't phones. These are cameras. And I'm just like, you making movies on your iPhone.
The picture quality is amazing.
The picture quality is incredible. And I really did not appreciate it as much until I owned one. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm ready for that close up. I'm ready. What we doing?
Yeah.
What time is the shoot? Absolutely. Guy Nollywood said iPhone is whack. Don't get your wrench taken away, brother Guy. Don't get your wrench taken away. Yeah, you can have live backgrounds, but I promise you, the camera quality on these iPhones are just kind of amazing. Okay. Oh, number 3, dogs or cats? Who you got?
What was the question?
Dogs or cats?
Oh, I'm not a pet person, neither. Mm-mm.
You got to choose one. Come on, you on the boat. You on Noah's Ark.
Okay.
You got to go in with one.
If I had to choose one, I would say a dog, but a very small dog. That
Very
stays
small,
small.
a little teacup Yorkie,
Yeah,
a
like a
little
Yorkie or
teacup
something.
Yorkie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little teacup Yorkie. Okay, okay. I will accept that because a teacup Yorkie is, can be considered like a kitten dog. But yes, I will accept that. Okay. Oh, you know what? Number 2,
You have
LSAT score.
cats, right?
Yeah, I have 2 cats, 2 babies, Lightning and Storm. But Lightning thinks she's a dog. Stormy knows she's a cat and she's fine with it. Lightning thinks she's full out a dog. Look, so this is her.
That is hilarious.
She's stretched out. She stretches out like a dog. And she lays everywhere. She lays everywhere. Her it's her world. It's her world. But she's a dog cat. She chases, she fetches, and the whole nine. She's funny. Yes, I do believe that too. Black cats bring good luck. We used to have a black cat named Hero, named after the Nas song. So LSAT score number 2.
Whoa. Oh. I think I had like a 155, but I will say I when I studied for the LSAT, I was working at Ross at the department
My
store.
favorite. Oh, Ciara, we have got to, girl, we've got to get it all the way together. Ross is my favorite.
So I didn't have a car. So literally what I would do is on my days off, I would get on the bus, go to the public library. They had an LSAT book. And I did that for a few months, and that's how I took the LSAT.
Amen. Amen.
And I know people that, paid hundreds of dollars for, LSAT prep courses, that got my same source. Maybe had I had, access to more resources, I probably could have done better.
No, but you had access to the source. That's why, sis. You had access to the source. You don't need resources when you got access to the source. Come on. The source. Yeah, my ex-husband did very well. He did better than what he expected, and he didn't take courses, and he got asked to teach courses because of how well he did. And I said, I knew that, I knew given the opportunity, I said I had him by 5 points. I had him by 5 points on that. That was always gonna be what went down in history, that I had him by 5 points, and I had access to the source. I didn't have access to resources, but I had access to the source. So absolutely.
Resources.
If you could be barred anywhere in the United States and not take their bar exam to do it, where would it be?
California or New York?
The hardest.
I haven't decided between which, but definitely California or New York. Yes.
Yeah, the hardest places. Top 2 hardest places to get
those
barred
are
up.
And those are like the meccas for, sports and entertainment law, right? So
very true.
If I could just pick up and move to one of those states and be able to, do what I wanted to do, then yeah.
Oh, number 1. This is so good. Ooh, I'm glad I saved this one for last. Ciara. The Heat, the Marlins, the Dolphins. You can only work with one organization. What front office you working with? Here we go. Put it in the atmosphere.
Probably the Dolphins. And that's only because I would take either one, Lord, but I say the Dolphins because I am just more interested in football than I am in baseball.
Oh, that's cute. You know what? So I went through the full transition. Okay, when I was young, it was all basketball. when I got into like my late teens, early 20s, it was football. I always loved Dan the Man Marino, which is funny because I'm not from Miami, but growing up, I remember, when my dad, my dad and my brother watched football, and I would be like, "Ooh, I like that man. His eyes match the uniform." That's how I fell in love with Dan the Man Marino. And but of course, with being in Philadelphia, being a Dolphin fan just really didn't mesh well. I ended up being more of a Tampa Bay fan in Philadelphia than I was a Dolphin fan.
Right.
Right. But when I came back home, when I came back to Florida, y'all, I've been baseball all day. I don't do nothing but Marlins. I don't do nothing but Marlins now.
Really?
So when I love the Marlins. I love baseball.
That's super random.
I love baseball. I said baseball, you could baseball, you could just sit back and really enjoy the game, and the game watches you, So we have
baseball games are too long for me.
Someone else said that. He's also from Coconut Grove, from Miami. But I said that's what I love about him. I feel like, especially when it was hot before the Marlins got the new stadium, so I would go to that Marlins game and I would lose about 10 pounds just sitting out there just sweating, drinking water and sweating, drinking water and sweating.
The stadium is nice. I've been to a game. The stadium is nice.
He said that Naima said that Tom Brady signed there with Tampa Bay. Yeah, Tampa. How do I feel?
Yes.
Are you asking Ciara?
With the Bucks.
How do you feel about Jamie Foxx's sister passing? That was a while ago. I mean, it's very. I think anytime you lose a sibling, it doesn't matter who you are. I think it is. It's a difficult thing.
It's sad, of course, right?
It's very sad. Yeah, it's very sad. So he said, I may be in Las Vegas, but I'm not dropping the Giants. It's all about the San Francisco Giants. So that's Tan John. Everybody's giving out their sports teams. So with that being said, Ciara, that is our time. Thank you so much. I know you got baby girl to get back to. Ciara, anything that you would like to say to the Glow Nation before you check out? Thank you so much again. I mean, it goes without saying, I love you. I have such an admiration for you. Just, how easy you are to talk to and talk with, and how, and I can't say this enough, y'all, but when you can give your dreams to a grown person and they not make you feel silly, I can't say enough of how much that means for me. And, I'm tearing up. You can see with beyond these glasses, but, to give, to be like I said, to be a grown woman and to just say, hey, this is a dream of mine. And this is, what I'm thinking. And to just have someone not say, girl, get real, find you this, go somewhere. And, and then on top of that, because it's a grown woman, I would just be like, oh, okay. Well, that's what she said to do. So that's what I'm going to go do. I'm just going to take that advisement and keep it moving. But the fact of saying, hey, that's a good idea. Hey, let's work to make that happen. That means so much to me. So if y'all don't have that type of friend in y'all life, or definitely if y'all don't have that type of lawyer in y'all life, get y'all one. Mm-hmm. But I want to just thank you again for the time that you do take with listening to me, with talking with me, with chatting with me, engaging, the work before the work that's being put in, and praying with me and praying for me. Like, that's huge. So I again want to thank you for coming on the show and taking some time from your busy evening. And if there's anything else you would like to say to the Glow Nation, we are all ears. Glowers and lighters are up. I'm going to take myself out the stream so you can say your goodbyes, but I'm still here. I'm just going to be backstage, but I'm taking myself out the stream so you can say your goodbyes. And if you want to give over any type of contact information for anyone reaching out to you, then that's totally up to you as well. All right.
Okay. First and foremost, thank you guys for having me. Thank you for engaging. I see you guys there in the chat. Courtney, I love you. We've meshed from the very beginning. to everyone who, thinks being a lawyer is somehow unattainable, I'm here to tell you that it is not. Um, I told you guys where I grew up. I told you guys, what high school I went to in the inner city. So it is not, something that you have to feel like is unattainable. I was in class with some people who, were married with children who were, you know, 40 plus. So, if this is something that you feel like you want to pursue, even now, go for it. Um, and yeah, just thank you for having me, and I look forward to next time.
Y'all, make sure y'all put y'all glowers up for Ciara. Y'all, and until next time, you know what to do. Please make sure anyone that would like to stay behind and grab some information, go ahead and do that. I am just so excited that we had a great room here tonight, some great conversation, and um also want to announce that and John will be hosting Glow After Dark tomorrow. So if y'all love Miss Tanjon Zoo and y'all love how she is rocking, y'all make sure to tune in tomorrow. Tanjon Zoo will be hosting. Y'all know the party kicks off at 9:30. So it's however long she wants to go, or however long she wants to glow, because you know what I do. Complete control goes to the host when it's that time of the hour. If you would like to be a part of that stream tomorrow on November 19th, Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please send an email to groupglowup@gmail.com and make sure to do that before 12 noon tomorrow, so I can make sure you have the link, and I also can make sure that we have the topics discussed for what is going to be glowing down for the Glow After Dark segment tomorrow. This should be a fun one. We're going to be unpacking a lot. Tanjon and I had a great conversation last night after the Generation X live. Y'all throw those X's up. And y'all better put some glowers up for Killmonger, the sexiest man in the world. Woo! Michael B. Congratulations. Until next time, y'all know what to do. Glow up.